May I please invite Mr. Samir Shah to please come on stage, sir, right here. Well, joining Mr. Samir Shah. Good evening, sir. May I please invite our next set of speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, absolutely delighted to invite on stage none other than Shri Shantanu Bhatkamkar, Board of Advisor, BCBA, to please come on stage, sir. May I further please invite all our esteemed speakers on the stage. May I please invite Shri Sant Katgara, Managing Director, Jeena & Co. Shri Amit Kamat, Chairman-elect, Federation of Freight Forwarders Association in India. And may I also please invite on stage Shri S. Mahalingam. If I could please invite, sir, Shri S. Mahalingam, also joining our amazing set of panelists. The head EXIM, Larsen and Toubro, Shri S. Mahalingam. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. Thank you to our speakers. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will cut the noise on that side because it's time for us to hear the voice on this side. But the only way the speakers can start sharing their thoughts is if we also cut down the music. I believe we are just working on the stage for a little bit. We'll also set the tone for the session in a minute. Are we good to go, team? Okay, are we good to go? So while we are figuring out the stage dynamics, ladies and gentlemen, well, it's also time to set the tone for what this session is all about. And to do so, if I could please invite Shri Ganpat Kode, Treasurer BCBA, to please introduce the theme, the topic for all of us. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Kavya. Good evening, friends, everyone sitting on the dais and off the dais. Thank you all for joining us today. It is an honor to welcome to this session on the vital theme of championing stability and continuity in the business. This is a very important session, and we have a well-experienced speakers. In the ever-changing landscape, modern business, ensuring stability and continuity is essential. Today, we have designed this session to address the critical aspect of the business continuity planning, BCP. Throughout this session, you will gain valuable insights on the following key areas: why the business continuity planning is important and many times same is neglected. You will learn about the challenges business face in the prioritizing BCP and strategies to overcome these hurdles to ensure your business is prepared of any disruptions. Panel will put spotlights on the significance of the succession planning, particularly for family-owned customers, custom brokers. You will discover best practices for creating a seamless transactions plan that ensure business continuity and paperless your legacy. Regulatory compliance is a cornerstone of the effective BCP. Our panel experts will discuss how to integrate compliance into your continuity plans, ensuring that your operations remain lawful and efficient. Meantime, customer trust and loyalty is a crucial that will help you retain customers' loyalty even the challenging times. These sessions will cover comprehensive strategies for crisis management, emergency response, and the risk management. By the end of the session, you will have a deeper understanding of the critical aspects of the BCP, practical knowledge, and how to implement your organizations. I am also fortunate to have such an experienced and diverse panel with us today. Their insights and expertise will unfortunately enrich our discussion and learning experience. Thank you and look forward for productive seminar. And thank you very much. Over to Samir bhai, please.
A louder round of applause, please. Okay, gentlemen, can you all please sit down over there? Good evening, everyone. And we were all talking. We'll try and free all in 45 minutes, even though we'd all done a lot of preparations. Try and give you whatever we wanted to in that limited time. We must recognize that the container is only around 65, 70 years old. The Customs Act is also of a similar vintage, maybe a little bit younger. The ICDs are not even 35 years old, but we are now, about 11,000 licensed custom brokers and at least around another 20,000 accredited or licensed freight forwarders. And the unlicensed or unaccredited, I think, would be at least another 45 to 50,000 agencies who are supporting all of us. Now, when one looks at all of it, one realizes that the major growth came after 2004. But what we've tried to give you today is a set of people who have been around for 4, 5, 6, 7, and somebody who's been around for 12 decades. Because the topic that was given to us was continuity in business and also stability. These are the two things which one needs to worry about. We keep talking about sustainability, we talk about green, we talk about a lot of other things, but the real test is when we can run our companies, we can look after our businesses through decades. It's not a journey of 1 or 2 decades. It's only when we cross that 3, 4 decades do we really sit back and realize that what all has taken place. So we've got people with who are second generation, third generation, fourth generation, who are going to share with us their views on championing stability and continuity in business. And at the end of it, we have a user who's going to actually tell us how does he evaluate us and what would be the expectations. I was talking to Mr. Sant in the morning, and he gave me a very good experience of his where he had an opportunity to speak to forwarders and users at the same time. And the forwarders said that my charges are reduced year and year. And the users felt that they are paying more year upon year for the same services. So now all of that, all those sort of challenges that we talked about, we also saw throughout the day many different things which were happening. So first of all, thank you from all of us to BCBA, Dushyant Bhai, for this wonderful opportunity to share our ideas and views with you. Thank you to all of you for having stayed back at the end of a very long day, and we do hope that we won't disappoint you. So with this, I'd like to invite Mr. Kamat. While we all know Amit Kamat from Bombay, he's actually not from Bombay. His main work is in Goa. We must recognize that there are two Indias. In the freight forwarding industry, in customs, everywhere there are two Indias. The way a metro city looks at freight forwarding and custom clearance, maybe a Bombay, Delhi, Chennai, Kolkata, is very different than how the other part of India looks at custom clearing and freight forwarding. And we've got somebody who's survived, I would like to use the word thrived and not survived, out of Goa for so many decades. So, Mr. Kamat, could we have some ideas as to how does one continue stability and in the business?
Thank you. Thank you, Samir Bhai. I respond to this by way of sharing the experiences in the business of my family. So our family, ours is a family business, and I'm a third generation entrepreneur. My grandfather started this business in 1920 in Goa, and then my father and my uncles started it in Mumbai in 1940. And ever since, we are there both in Mumbai and Goa. We were, as far as I can remember, before I started joined my family business, we were more of our clientele was from the Government of India undertakings, which there was an era of canalization. And we used to handle almost a lot of canalized cargo. And after 1991, after decanalization and privatization, a lot of this volume started dwindling. And then we focused on multinational corporations while continuing our work with canalized agencies. So in a sense, we have been agile and adaptive to changing environment, and accordingly changed our strategies and focused on new businesses. Secondly, I feel that we have been handling some kind of niche businesses, and when you handle some kind of a niche business, and you didn't require a particular skill set, and those have lasted with us for a lot of years and supported us in terms of our volume of business. Like we have been handling iron ore in Goa, we have been handling liquid cargo in Goa, then we have been handling offshore supply vessels to oil rigs in Goa, and manufacturing of barges and vessels and debonding them. These are kind of businesses, I mean, which are unique to Goa and are not in other parts of the country. In 1991, whilst we were handling this bulk and break bulk cargo in like sugar or fertilizer or alumina or non-ferrous metals, it was not just doing a custom clearance. We were doing a lot of cargo handling for them. We were also doing small activities. Just as I remember that we used to clear the inbound trucks coming from the hinterland at the octroi nakas, process the refund of octroi from the municipality, clear cargo from the wagons, take it to the warehouse, unload it, then again load it, get it to the... I mean, these are kind of activities which are very comprehensive. So it's not only custom clearance or documentation per se, and that has helped us hold our stead. In 1991, we started a vertical of stevedoring also. And ever since in Goa, we have done stevedoring for all more chartered vessels for our clients. We have loaded sugar, we have loaded fertilizer, unloaded coal. We have handled container vessels for more than a decade, and so on. Then we have done backward integration into transportation and warehousing. Cargo handling has been, and stevedoring has been our forte. We also used to support our clients by other support services like DGFT related matters, advising them while application of advanced licenses, closing of advanced licenses, EPCT licenses, cancellation of bank guarantees and all that. So we have been, apart from core custom clearance, we have been adding on to our activity in various matters. And that has helped us be in the business for almost 8 decades now, from 1940 in Mumbai and from 1920 in Goa. And I feel that one must always be very agile, adaptive to change, and also reshape and restructure the organization in view of the current environment. Like if today people were speaking in the morning regarding digitalization, electronic using of technology. So when such things happen, this can be a disruptor, and this can also give you an opportunity. Like today, your office is not location centric. One can operate from home. You can restructure your organization in a way that you don't need so many office spaces which you have. You can reduce your overheads which are there. One person, 3 people who are doing one particular job can be converted into one particular person doing 3 jobs by using of technology in an effective way. So I feel providing value-added services, doing a backward and for integration and strategizing. Like, for example, we have never been very active into forwarding. So we, as a matter of strategy, we have not competed with forwarders, we have cooperated with forwarders. So we have been a part of them. So that has been giving us additional business. So I feel you have to take a position for your company, this considering your strengths, the strength of your organization, the size of your organization, how much is bandwidth, you take a particular position and try to maximize your revenue in that. That is what we have been doing. With every change what happened in India, they said this is a end of the custom broker business. Well, we have been here for the last now 100 years. And I don't think in another 100 years also the situation would change. Unless a person is averse to changing, wants to remain static, and doesn't be agile, and doesn't respond to the environment. Thank you.
Thank you, Amit bhai. And I think I'd just like to add for the benefit of the audience, we're talking about the stability and the continuity of our organizations. We're talking about that. And there has been no regulation which has ever done away with a service segment. We need to be very careful that we are a service segment and we would be in a position to readapt ourselves. From a third generation, we go on to a fourth generation. Mr. Katgara, would you like to share some of your views?
Good evening. Good evening. Being the 125 years next year, to start with, we are 125 years young, not old. The moment we start thinking old, we are outdated. So our DNA should be that we are young, we are energetic, we want to do something new every day, and that's how we maintain and sustain ourselves. Talking about sustainability, when my generation came into the business, in a few years of just about learning the business, we learned a very hard lesson of sustainability. More, I would use the word survival, not even sustainability. We used to work with a multinational in the late 70s, early 80s. And for almost 15 years, we worked with this multinational, and our business grew multifold to the stage where, after about 15 years, the multinational found it very lucrative to be in India and wanted to buy us. And we had a very difficult decision to make because almost 90% of our business was with this multinational. We, being very new, very young, were faced with a dilemma. We had some sleepless nights, but my brothers, my cousin, and myself, we took this bold decision that we will start our business from scratch. We'll build it up from scratch, learning from this experience that we will never be dependable on only one or two customers or agents. And with that, then we traveled the world, we took extensive travel, we built up our network with local heroes in countries, not with one agent worldwide. And I think that is really what has made us sustain all these years, because if I would draw parallels, many companies of our nature, our size, have been working with one multinational and have been already bought over and don't exist anymore today. So we would be one of the few who have survived that threat, and that really matured us into how to maintain survival and sustain. Going with this lesson, I would say the next sustainable point would be that we wanted to be more self-dependent. So we started building our own systems, tailor-made to the Indian conditions, compatible or interface with any other system, whether it's an agent or whether it's the airport or whether it's the customs. So we've built our own systems over 20 years, and every day we are still trying to build better and better and better. So we became self-reliant. Sustainability goes also in two parts. One is sustain the staff that we have. I would rather call them colleagues. A lot of people have said that we must look after our staff. And that's something which we have believed in. And I give you an example. Today, if we have a loyal staff, a good staff for a position, and the position can be filled in by outside, and the person is 100% exactly made for that position, but one of our loyal people, and of course successful people, are 80% there. We would rather invest in that person, give him the opportunity, and bring him, mentor him to come to that 100%. And we believe that, and that's where really our people have been loyal and grown with us. And that is the root and foundation of sustaining, that we have a very loyal, I would say, colleagues, family members who have made us reach where we are today and be in a strong position. The second most sustainable part would be partnering our customers. Firstly, they are our business partners. They are never looked at as our customers. We have very long-serving customers. We want to see how we can do something better for them, how they can improve their business, so the business grows with us. And with this mentality, we have really kept long-serving customers, 30 years, 40 years, even some longer. And that's another very strong point of us sustaining ourselves and being in this position. Another fact we really looked at is we never believe we are number one or we are the best, because we always want to learn from our competitors. They are doing something right. Let's adopt the good practices from our competitors. So it's not we know our business, we do it best. We can always improve, and we're always looking at improving. So this is another very important point from our side, that we can be sustainable. Of course, it's been spoken before, you have to be flexible, you have to be ready for adaptation to these, now the new word, disruptions. So with all this put together, I would say we have maintained a certain level of sustainability and hope to continue that here. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Katgara. I think, we must recognize that you've got about 250 years plus of work experience talking to you all. Please soak in with all the information that my panelists are sharing with you about their organizations and the way they've come up and survived all these decades. I'd like to go to a second generation person, but Shantanu, I don't want you to talk about what your company did. You've had extensive experience of working at the international level also. What has been your learnings that similar long-standing companies have done in countries other than India?
Yeah, thanks Samir, and thanks Dushyant, thanks BCBA for this opportunity. I discussed with Samir that I'm wanting to focus on YouTube Shorts, which is 1 minute, what we can say, the 1 minute bites as they give on
Reels,
YouTube. But this is a much bigger question.
So we give you 7 1-minute reels.
Well, in India, we have a big legacy of custom broker, freight forwarders, starting from Mukaddams, Dalals, baggage agents, clearing agents, and now custom house agents. And Jeena is a point in case that we have survived, many of us have survived. Samir's company and my company started in the very same year. We were born in the same year, so we have too much of similarity among us. But when we go to many countries, they have longer legacy. One of them is Germany. And you mentioned even Austria has long legacy. One thing we realized in IFCBA is we feel we are proud as custom brokers, and largely our exposure has been to Southeast Asia and Europe. They don't have great pride as custom broker, but if you go to USA, Canada, Mexico, Japan, China, South Korea, and in extreme, I would say South America, they are extremely proud of their legacy as a custom broker. But I will come to the legacy in Germany. I have worked with at least 3 companies who are 100-plus-year-old. In some companies, we have one of the partners working there. In other company, the only surviving partner was a 80-year-old lady on board of directors, and other board of directors were lawyers, chartered accountants, bankers, and manufacturers of sugar and chocolates. They were on the board of director, and they owned also the chocolate manufacturing company. But none of them wanted to sell the shares of the company. So this is one thing we have forgotten, that is one of the way of keeping business continuity. The name is same, the owners are same. When we go across to France, we find another example of that. Is the person who is in charge gets double shares. Means within the family, if it is 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, he gets little more. Of course, it's more than that. I think there are many. So people have model, but they are morely freight forwarding company, not custom brokerage. So people have pride all over the world in ensuring that there is succession. So we should not be shy that we should have succession, encourage our next generation. And my initial question was about a mistake. Now there are two things in continuity which I would say, whether I did a mistake or not, but I should have done better. When Mihir, who is sitting here, my elder son, he wanted to join, I questioned him that, are you sure you are joining here for your good, not good of the family, not good of the company, not good of someone else, but just for your own good? And only once you are convinced, please join. Now today when I look at some other stories, I realize that I should have been more welcoming, because a lot of people, the next generation hasn't joined. So probably this is something we should take a look at, that whatever people may say, let's be welcoming to the next generation. When I come to my younger son who is in Dubai, he on his own felt that there is no place for two people. But in our industry, there is nothing of this kind. First, I feel we are a reasonably sized company that 2 or 3 people can be easily in leadership position. Neither he asked, nor I asked him. And I think that dialogue is critical, that next generation and our business continuity plan. And last thing I would conclude is what companies like L&T all over the world look for. If you have a global customer, I think first presentation we should make is of our business continuity plan. And they actually then have no questions for you, because they are looking for vendors' business continuity. Your staff may find another job, but for a customer to switch over has many challenges. So our business continuity plan and the presentation of it is very critical for global customers. Thanks. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Shantanu. That was wonderful and very insightful. So we move on to the most important for all of us, and that might be our customer, our business partner, our client, because we service them. So we've got Mr. Mahalingam here, and my question to you would be that how do you actually evaluate us? What are your expectations from us, and how important for you it is to have a vendor who has a long history? Not a vendor who has a long history with you, but a vendor who has a long history. Please.
So, good evening, and thanks to Dushyant Bhai and everyone in the panel. Thanks for inviting. So before addressing his question and make it know whether we have to be a Facebook or an WhatsApp or to be a Twitter, little bit, give me some time. So that when we say the championing stability and continuity in business in the time of uncertainty, so we are talking about, we are facing a lot of uncertainty time and again, and post-COVID, we have seen this has got into a numerous, enormous type of magnitude has increased the uncertainty. So we have to keep ourselves, so in L&T we believe three competencies in terms of think, act, and engage. Think, act, and engage with all of you, with my stakeholders, be it partners or with my customers who they are giving the business. In L&T, we have a lot of people who are, we are the customer to them and they are also customers. Like, for example, like we buy tons and tons of steel from JSW and we build similarly for Tata Steel also. But we are the customers to them and we also build their factories. So it's a very, very typical type of scenario where we have to establish things. So when we are asking this question of driving and dealing with the change in the time of uncertainty, so how we are going to drive? So all of us, whenever we have an when we have an issue, we always go to Dr. Panda at Asian Heart. Okay, so and that's what he keeps us alive, stable, and be continued, okay, by doing the heart surgery and keeping us alive. That's the hope. So we are not at the hands of the local mechanics. So that's the expectation from our customer to us and to all of you, is that we have to have a lot of commitments. There is a lot of expectations from our customers, and we also want that same sort of thing. When we say that, when we have this think, act, so a lot of critical thinking which are required. So managing the risk, which becomes a very, very important aspect. So when we are saying that mitigating, so when we do this typical type of analysis, when we're executing project within India or outside India, so we do a lot of risk analysis, right from managing the risk, what are the various types, how we can mitigate this. We have multiple risk evaluation metrics, which, and including that the many customs, so the logistics area, even the customs part, everything is also risk, not only for when we are executing projects abroad. So we execute a lot of projects in Mauritius Metro, we have done it in outside India, Sri Lanka, we did in UAE and so many other countries, executed projects in Africa, domestic, a lot of things. So the expectations are very clear, like the timely delivery and in terms of, when we talk about, throughout the day, we talked about the transformations. So when the size of a company like L&T, we have around 2.21 lakhs crores of revenue. Of that, 1.5 lakhs crores come from the products, not from the services. So this is, apart from those, there are some entities which are doing specifically, which are services into technology and all. So when we manage this entire thing, so we learn how we have to be agile, how we have to deal with this, drive with the change, how to mitigate this risk, entire thing. So we developed this transformation, a lot of projects. We had logistics for transformation. Typically, without boring all of you, I'll just tell you, all of us in L&T type of business, we have many type of ERPs. Like we have around 4 to 5 versions of SAP. We have an Oracle version. We have our homegrown ERP versions. So we all integrated this entire thing, and we are now in the process of entirely like revamp our logistics. And we made a logistic for transformation where we have an end-to-end visibility. This is one of the things, the size of this magnitude, really when we went to the world-class consultant, Big Four, so they are not seen side of this type of magnitude of complexities, number of business. Under the one, in our parlance, IEC, I can say, rather than PAN, we have multiple business within L&T, and we have every business is around 30,000 crores minimum. It goes up to 50 to 60,000 crores, and there are many sub-business within that. So even we are doing contract validation. Today, when we are having contract with our customers, we are validating and evaluating through an AI process. So AI also, so with the human intervention, what we are doing, and also we get through a lot of things which come through an AI, and how we are going to mitigate this, how we can effectively deliver to our customers. Okay, and then we are also using a drone technology for that geospatial, like how to evaluate the space, where is the challenging landscape when we are executing project in Jammu Kashmir, power projects, or when we are executing a very toughest terrain in Uttarakhand, where we have to move and arrows 200 metric tons of tunnel boring machines, and we have to change the orientation almost 3 times, from horizontal to vertical, vertical to horizontal. So we do a lot of mapping, how we have to do that. So it's all with a thing like it comes with a passion for all of us. As an entire company, we work on this. It's a non-owner-based company. You can identify it. So the employees are the owners, and it comes with a lot of responsibility and humility, and with the confidence for us. So if we have that different business process, we have entire infrastructure verticals. We have energy, hydrocarbon. We also into manufacturing of defense and heavy engineering, precision projects, and we do like all this ODC movements, any small things. So all these long lead items. If you miss any of these things, I'll just tell you like some of these items which we manufacture with the precision engineering. The lead time for a nuclear reactor would be like almost 13 to 16 months. Something which goes wrong, it will be like entire collapse of this. It is a huge credibility loss, not only for L&T and to the name of the nation also. So we are the nation builders. So we ensure there is a zero default in terms of delivering this cargo. So we have this expectation, same with our customers has put that. So we do a multiple level of things. And also in the customs, right from validating that HS codes, how we can, there are though something which is uncertain, like whatever we do it, at the end of the day, customs may come up with things. So we identified those areas also and found out, because in L&T scheme of things, we used to get a show cause notice or some old demand which is of 15 to 20 years before, and nobody knows who has done this. Because there are multiple business, there are many CHAs and many business, many people are handling. So we started centralizing these activities in terms of the procurement process. The entire steel, cement, capex equipment, including the imports, this entire thing has been centralized in clearance activities. And then we have very clear sort of an expectation, SLAs, from the customers. And then we say that, in order to have our business continuity, what are the steps which have. So this all we have done through a digital process. The entire thing has been automated at this company level across L&T, and it is up and running. So today we can find out with what has been done. So we unlike in manufacturing where you have a standard around 10 or 15 raw materials, or maximum 25 raw materials and 2 or 3 end products, we have minimum around 800 to 900 at any point of HS codes we are dealing. And we have to be very careful, and when we deal, similarly like what are the benefits we have to get at the time of exports. So that also, so we all do this through and ensure this business continuity, because most of this, our margins, which are based upon our decisions which we are taking in advance, be it an logistic cost or customs, anything which we procure, anything which goes long, and anything which is delays which are causing. I'll just tell you the example right from that when we're executing now a lot of projects, all of you know, like are monitored from the PMO's office. And there are a lot of you must have experienced. Now recently we had executed a very small project of Adi Shankaracharya statue at Madhya Pradesh, where that the CMO office was tracking. CMO office was informing us, your cargo has been custom cleared. And we were monitoring through early morning. I'm getting a call from the PA to CM at around 7 o'clock when I'm holidaying, saying that this particular truck has been stopped, and you have to ensure that it has been shifted. This is unprecedented. Though we have a lot of technology, so the government is also in the third, they are in the 6th gear, and industry has woken up later. I'm telling you, like there are some companies like L&T have started. A lot of companies are trying to do it. So when we have done that entire transformation, we want our entire ecosystem, like our partners, has to be standing as a pillar. So we are saying like it is not a custom house broker or logistic service providers. They are partners in business. And because why we are telling, so we also in the organizations are treated, anything goes wrong, the logistic guy or the customs guy who takes the blame. Similarly, we pass on that baton to you, and then we say that. So it is paramount importance for us to keep this live and active, and this entire business continuity is maintained throughout. So lastly, I'll just tell you, like there is a saying like if everybody is dying and we have to die at the last, Okay, see, if everyone is dying, so we should not die at the first. So that is the resilience we have to build. So that's the business continuity is there in that. So how, when we say that gentleman before from Dani has spoken about the resilience of building going to Ladakh, similarly, how our business are being put into a certain resilience, like I die at the last. Okay, so I put all these things, so I built up all these capabilities are put. So be it a people, transformation, technology, whatever we talk about, it is totally through a process, okay, and lies on the people. Technology is an enabler which we are started now leveraging this. Lot of these jobs, particularly in logistics and customs, we call this as a touch points in the terminology of if you go to any of the people, like this is the most inefficient process. If you go to any of these technocrats, and we have some of the people who are foreign countries, they have come and tried to implement, they have just, so we started devising and developing our own sort of models. When we build up our thing, we know it suits to Indian conditions, what we require, how we have to build up. So this process being a multiple touch points, so where there is, we are dependent upon too much on the inefficient process, so how we can make it effective. So when you do that, please see, we have an experience. I think a lot of companies have, in fact, very big companies have come and taken the inputs from us, how you have got implemented this for the scale of L&T. So that's the thing, so that's the main important thing. When we talk about that, the risk evaluation, risk mitigation, and being a part of to maintain the business continuity, we should keep on manage that. Think, act, and engage. That's what we say, that we keep on thinking how we have to mitigate these things and ensure that, so there should be clear-cut transparency in our operations. Okay, the competency and credibility are very, very important when we have to expectation from each other. So when we are building that, just for the interest of this community today, like all these things have been told in nicely English. So what happened to my payment? Some people talked about the debit note also, I think, Mr. Tej. So now we have built up for an MSME. So now this, when we build up the end-to-end process in the automation, so we ensure this, the entire process, right from placing the order, so it will come through you, and you will also get paid, and it will not go through any of the intermediary. Nobody can stop your payment unless you fulfill that. So this somebody cannot keep that in their desk and ask you to come and meet you after some time or tell you some sort of stories. So this is a way well, we are also building our own credibility and for the MSMEs and other operations. So like our logistic cost is somewhere, direct cost is almost 7,000 crores, indirect cost is almost 12,000 crores of logistic spend. So that's a very big, more than the size of big companies. So we have taken a lot of such steps to transform this entire thing, keeping the business continuity in mind. So whatever we do it, so whether we are doing a metro project, whether we are doing a power projects, we did that bullet train project, we did that MTHL project, all of you did, seen that. So how meticulously, when it was supposed to be done at the 7 years period, we did it the 3.5 years. Actual project is executed within 3 years of period. And this entire tunneling project. So we have that, in terms of, we see that the number of projects which is getting something like not coming to that non-executed, you cannot hear from something, LIT is not able to execute or left it in between. So that is a business continuity, and that is that belief the customer has got. Same thing we want from all of the community to stand by it, and we will stand by you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mahalingam. Mr. Mahalingam, you used one word where you said that you all are nation builders. Sir, we are also nation builders, because without us, EXIM is not going to happen, I'd dare anybody anywhere in the world to try and do EXIM without a freight forwarder or a custom broker, especially in India also, So you needn't worry. And that brings me to the point which Shantanu said, that we really need to be proud of what we are doing, because we are actually doing something which is truly remarkable, We take on so much pressure on ourselves, but we deliver. And as we always say, logistics is one industry where you have to deliver 100%. You can afford to say, kal hoga, but you cannot afford to say nahi hoga. You know, a doctor can say, I did whatever I could, now you pray to God. A lawyer can say, I presented a very strong case, now let's see what the judge says. We are not permitted to do that. And from whatever we learned from Mr. Katgara and Mr. Kamat was, let's look inside, let's look outside and grab every possible opportunity that is coming our way. I'd only like to add to all of you, because I see a lot of young over here. Please remember that strength recognizes strength and weakness recognizes weakness. So if you're not made, don't run after the L&Ts. If you're made, then run after the L&Ts and the Siemens. If you're not made that way, run after companies which are within your reach, because then only will you find a synergy and a continuity over there. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for a patient hearing and waiting for all of us. Could I request everyone to join me in a round of applause to my panelists, please? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Samir sir. Thank you for beautifully summing it up, at the same time leaving us with a very profound message. With that, ladies and gentlemen, as we call it a wrap to this business session, may I please invite firstly on stage Mr. Saurabh Engineer to please come forward, sir, to please felicitate our speaker, Shri Shantanu Bhadkamkar. If I could please request your presence, Mr. Saurabh Engineer, to please come forward on stage. So we'll have the memento and the plant to be presented as a symbol of growth and prosperity to our speakers for making our business sessions, our sessions over here absolutely prosperous, filling up with a wealth of knowledge for us. May I now please invite on stage Mr. Dinesh Gupta to please come forward, sir. May I please invite Mr. Dinesh Gupta? Sir, I request you to please come on stage to felicitate our next speaker, Shri S. Mahalingam. May I now please invite on stage Mr. Ashish Pednekar to please come forward, sir, to felicitate our next speaker, Shri Sam Katgara. May I now please invite on stage Mr. Sudhir Agarwal. I invite Mr. Sudhir Agarwal, sir, to please come on stage to felicitate our next speaker, Shri Amit Kamat. And now may I please request Mr. Om Prakash Agarwal to please join Mr. Ganpat Kode, to please felicitate our amazing session moderator, Mr. Samir Shah. Can we have a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for those valuable inputs that we managed to gather from all of our speakers, thanks to this beautiful moderation by Mr. Samir Shah. Thank you very much indeed. And if I could please request all the speakers to come together, all the dignitaries to come together for a group photograph. On that note, we thank our amazing speakers. While the topic was all about championing stability and continuity in business, we were literally hearing from the champions of change, from the leaders themselves since morning. And that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that leaves us with the valedictory session. And we have